right, welcome. I've got like a lovely surprise for you today. I have a friend visiting who I haven't seen for 18 years. So she's going to come on in a little bit. I'm going to show you something big that we're doing in the spring. I'm going to show you something big that I did last year. I'm going to hide something from you because there's something I don't want you to see. And I'm going to show you something Mary did this week. I'm going to show you so much, and we're going to talk about so much. And I'm going to not forget about the Northern Seed Pods. Are you guys like thinking, oh, she forgot about that? Did you have fun last week when we went to Port Hawkesbury? I did. I was so happy to be with Carol Beaton and Paula Davis and all the people at Port Hawkesbury who were there. We had about 30 people out, which was great for an icy, rainy day. And that show is now going to be going to the Muir Hotel in Halifax for another show with 2 other artists. So I'm excited about that. So let's do a little bit of hooking because that's why we're here, right? So what did I tell you I'm going to do today? Do you remember?
A lot.
A lot. And we got like 30 minutes to do it in. So let's get to work. All right. I'm going to work on the background here on this. And this was a skein of yarn given to me by Kim. When she was traveling, she bought this for me, and I really like it. So we don't have anything like this in the studio. It's kind of a thin, rough yarn. So what I'm going to do, see, when you got a tangle like this, all you want to do is you want to get the 2 ends together. Okay, so you got this big mess. Just get your 2 ends together and then shake it out. You'll probably get a tangle or 2, but it's usually pretty good. All right, I want to get some background in here. Okay, like my hook was here because I did a double check. Didn't I, Angela?
You did?
I did. I did a double check. Can't have that Donnie Miller telling me what to do. All right. Okay. I have a question for you today. And the question of the day today is, how do you elevate the ordinary? And we talk a lot about that in our Sunday letters. We talk about how to make the ordinary important. And we also talk about the value of an ordinary day. I think it's so easy to forget. Like some days, you know, it just doesn't seem like much on the go, or maybe there's a weekend and you haven't got any plans or something and you feel like, oh gosh, you know, got no friends, gonna eat some worms, whatever, right? Do you know what I mean? Like you feel like that. But I think it's really important. Well, for us, really, most of us, we can just go hook a rug and be completely happy. And that's one way that we elevate the ordinary, is we make art, or we make craft, or we make stuff, however you think about it. Everybody thinks about it differently. I don't want to people feel pressured that they have to make art when they hook rugs. Like, you can just hook a rug. And like a lot of times, this is a pattern. I've done it before. I'm doing it again. Am I getting deep into my artistic place? Probably not. I'm hooking a rug and I'm enjoying myself. But I do, so besides hooking rugs, how do you elevate your ordinary day? And we're going to talk about that some more as we go on into this live today. So see how nice this yarn is? Just two strands of a thin yarn. That's just simple. And it's folding over. And when I'm doing my background, if you purchase the Neutrals course, I gave you an extra free video on that. Even if you purchased it 2 years ago, you can go on and watch it. I added, actually Angela added the video to it. And there's a whole little lesson about hooking backgrounds on there. The neutral background. And I love a neutral background because you can put anything on top of it and make it great. Here we go. I wonder who's calling. I wonder if it's one of you who's watching right now. Okay, so that hooked a lot of area, that little bit of thin yarn, and see how I trailed it through. So now let's take our other bits of neutrals. This is just some neutral cloth. And I'm just going to take that and carry it through over here. And I'll be working on the background for probably a little while. I might not get this whole thing done on the live. I might have to just dip in and do a little bit outside of the live. So sometimes when I'm working on a background like that, I'll be hooking away on it, and it'll just suddenly take me to move to a different place. And I do that. That happens, and I like that. I'll just, okay, I'm just going to leave that now, and then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to finish off this tan, the tan on tan here. And this is tan on tan, but you can see two important things happening here. One's a cloth, one's a yarn, and the yarn has a different sheen. And so you could have exactly the same colors, but have a slightly different sheen or a different texture, and it would make it work. I'm going to take that same tan. Do I want that? Where do I want it? Do I want it down here or up here? I feel like I want it up here. I feel like I want to do these balls, these seed pod balls. I want to do those like this. Because I want to see that sort of, I want that silky, this is a yarn called Sulka. Actually, we just picked out with Darla, I was picking out the wool box, and we've got some, we're going to hand dye some Sulka for one of our upcoming wool boxes. It's going to be fun. So you're going to get some of this sheen if you're in the wool box. Okay. So I'm going to finish that up. So sometimes I'll do that. Like I'll just go away from my background, and then when I come back to it, I come back to it a little bit differently. Right? You're kind of just, you're almost like interrupting your process a bit, which sounds sort of like, why would you want to do that? But I think that's part of sometimes what makes us creative. Like some people say, I need like 3 hours to sit and do this. Really, if you got 10 minutes, you got time to do something and make something happen in your mat. And so now I'm going to come back, and I wouldn't have thought that, but I'm just, my hand reached for the white. So I'm going to get the bright white in here. And this is Briggs and Little Bleach White. And see what a contrast it's making? So I have something else I want to do today is I want to talk about wool box. And one of the changes that we're going to make in wool box. We're going to start putting in a little note in the wool boxes that tells you what yarns are in there, because people have been asking for that. And some of you are on quarterly. We have quite a few people in our wool box club. And is it open now, Lorna? Is there room to join? There's room to join. Sometimes it closes because we get filled up. But there is room to join wool box if you want. Sometimes I can't tell if this is like the negative space or the positive space. So I want to make sure that I'm hooking the right thing. Fix that. So I'm going to unbox last month's wool box for you and show you that. And then I'm going to bring in a special guest, and we are going to talk about, we're going to talk about the everyday woman. So that's what we all are, really. So let's do this. Okay. So don't fill up your whole area with it, like leave a little space and go through. There we go. Now I'm just going to do one more bit of background. Then we're going to unbox this month's wool box, and we're going to talk about what's in it, and we're going to talk about what we're going to be adding. Oh, see that? Now that's another texture altogether, and it's really bumping it up. I love that. I love the way it looks. And I have a tiny bit of space there. So let's just take another bit of cloth maybe and fill that in. And then we're going to come back and we're going to work on this again. And we're going to be finishing up. So this is the Northern Seed Pods. It's available as a digital download for the pattern if you want, or it's available as a kit, or just the pattern on linen. You decide. So now this gets, you can, I've got to get another skein of stone path to finish that. So wool box comes monthly or quarterly. You can decide. And it comes in a fancy little box. Let's come over here and we'll unbox it over here. So let's open it up. I don't even know what's in this, so I've got to have a look. I mean, because I don't know which wool box Darla has provided me with. I think it was this month's. So you get your box. It comes in the mail. Oh, there we go. It's all covered in tissue paper. We're going to start adding a note in of what everything is in here. And you get your card and your envelope. And on the card, so it's a curated box, right? A lot of times we hand dye specifically, or we order from hand dyer specifically. And this one says, we can find joy, we can know joy. It can come from a walk across a field or down a dirt road or in the woods. It can also come from taking our story and making it real. A poem, a painting, a rug. We all have it in us. So it's a little bit of inspiration every month. And then we curate the wools based on this. So in this month, you're going to get, we have partial skeins and some full skeins. We've got this really deep Alafos. We've got great red, so really deep Alafoso Lopi. We've got curly locks, and we've got red window pane. And then we've got a nice big piece of red cloth. So there's our reds, which is in here. And sometimes we're going to start putting a little special treat in here. We don't know what. We're just decided that we're just going to make it a little bit more fun and put in some bits and pieces. And then you've got some lichen and lace with this red to pink to coral to yellow. And then we have, this is a deep dyed blue for the sky. And we've got some, what's this one called? This big, thick, fluffy one. Floof. We've got floof. So that's what's in this month's wool box. And we've got another piece of hand-dyed. Both cloths are hand-dyed. Another piece of yellow hand-dyed cloth. So that's our little unboxing this month of wool box. And the beauty of wool box is it's great for building your stash. So if you and it's great for inspiration, but it's also great for building your stash. So if you have, if you're just getting started with rug hooking, or if you're wanting to sort of have new ideas come to you, when I get a new wool, I get a new idea a lot of times. So I think this is a great way to sort of grow your collection of wools. And that's this month's wool box with the card and the envelope. And sometimes you'll find a little something extra inside of there. That's something we used to do a lot with wool box, and we haven't been doing lately. And Darla and I were talking about it, and we really want to grow our wool box community. So we're just going to start adding a little, just a little fun, maybe a little foolishness, and a little joy to wool box. So there we go. That's this month's wool box. This pattern right here, some of you were asking about it. I don't know if I can show it to you without, I can't show you what's underneath it. It's a bit of a secret. This is a seed pod pattern. It's a large rug, and last year I drew it on the live, and I decided I wasn't going to sell it, and so I kept it for a year. But it is for sale. I think these patterns are usually $179. It is not on the website, but if you want it, call the studio, and Terry or somebody will do that for you. So can you guys see that pattern there? I don't want to hold it up. Can you guys go over? If you go over there, then I can hold it so that you can see it. You see it? Yeah, so that's a large kind of abstract seed pod kind of pattern. I drew it last year. 3 or 4 of you asked about purchasing it, and I said no. But I've kept it for a year, and I haven't done it, so somebody should be doing it. So now I want to invite Jennifer Melville on to the live today, and we're going to have a conversation about what she's up to. Now, come on in, Jennifer. Hi.
Come on down.
Nice to see you. Come on down. It's like The Price is Right. Do you mind if I hook while we talk?
No, that's awesome.
Okay, great.
I love it.
So Jennifer, I've known you for, well, probably since the Folk Art Festival, so maybe 30 years. Almost. Can't be. A little bit, maybe 24, 25 years. Yeah. Okay, about 25 years. Yeah. And the last time I saw you, you told me it was 18 years ago. I can't believe, because I've talked to you in between then.
And I was dyeing wool.
You were dyeing wool for a while, and you had some great wools. You were really good at it. but you were just sort of playing with things.
Yeah.
You were kind of finding your way.
I was.
You were.
Yeah.
You're an accountant by nature or trade.
By trade.
By trade.
And
Sorry.
nature.
And
I
nature.
think that plays into what I do as well.
I think it does.
Yeah.
So tell us what you do.
Okay, so as you said, I am an accountant, and I did work in the financial industry for a decade or so, and then I had 2 kids, and I decided to stay home.
Right.
And I think that as you go through different seasons of life, you do gravitate towards different things. So during the time with the children, that's when I was really into the dyeing wool.
You were,
because I was making things for them. I was making toys, and I was dyeing wool. We were dyeing wool together. We got sheep.
Yeah.
We did the whole, full circle.
You were making little bowls.
I was.
They were
and
gorgeous.
Little strawberries.
Yeah,
and,
they were lovely.
Little sweaters that they would never dare to wear now. Unless it's an ugly sweater party. So then as the kids got older, I started writing. I started to have more quiet time, which is something I really need to be able to write.
Yeah.
And I actually really started all of this 1 week into the pandemic. So
1 week into the pandemic, this is what she did. When all of you guys started hooking rugs, Jennifer started writing.
I got a puppy first.
Oh, you got a puppy first?
Seriously, first week I got a puppy.
Yeah.
And then I started writing.
Yeah.
And I haven't stopped since.
Wow. How many books have you written?
I've written 11, and I have another one coming out soon.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
But you were very courageous. You didn't wait around and say, I got to get a publisher, or I'm afraid to show this. You went right at it, girl.
I did.
Yeah.
And I was sick to my stomach when I first did it, for sure.
Yeah.
I remember you asked me to come here.
I did.
The first book, and I wasn't ready.
No.
I'm ready now.
Yeah, you're ready now.
Yeah.
Like 4 years later.
4 years later.
Yeah.
But I started at that time. I started to really think, and I think a lot of people did during the pandemic, because we were forced to slow down. We were forced to kind of live that everyday, ordinary life in our homes.
Yeah.
So I started to explore the idea of elevating the everyday.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where the accountant in me comes in.
Yeah.
Because I like to analyze things. And if something's got me down, or if something's on my nerves.
On my nerves, I know exactly.
There's a lot of stuff that's on my nerves.
Anybody else feel that?
I like to problem solve. Think, well, how can I fix this?
Yeah.
So my books cover a lot of different topics.
Yeah.
But there's that common thread that runs through all of them, which is elevating the everyday. So whether I look at it from, I've written a book about personal finance.
Yeah, personal finance is one.
So just general, elevate the everyday. I have your home life, personal finance. I write a lot about personal style.
Yeah.
I wrote about surviving the Canadian winter and how to thrive during that winter, which is one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
Paris, always inspired by the French.
How to be French.
How to be French, because if there's a society that has it figured out,
elevates the everyday,
it's the French.
They do.
They are masters of the art of living and their joie de vivre.
Yeah.
So I draw a lot of inspiration from the French. The seashore, how can I use that as a metaphor to bring into my life? So I wrote a book about Christmas, and how can we make Christmas feel less stressful and enjoy the season instead of dread it. It's sad to say, but some people do.
Some of us have a lot of pressure around that time of year. Yeah.
So that's sort of the common thread that runs through all of my books.
I love that, Jennifer. Because we're always talking about, like, I just sometimes feel like we don't realize the value of an ordinary day. We forget until one day you get a call, and then you realize, I just wish it was yesterday. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just wish it was just a regular day.
Yeah. So a lot of it, I think, comes down to mindset.
Yeah.
One thing that elevates my everyday is getting outside.
Yeah. Nature, walking.
I run. I still run.
You still run.
But I walk my dog twice a day on this little path through the woods.
Yeah.
And instead of thinking about, I gotta get the kids doing this.
Yeah.
He didn't do his homework on that. And that, I try to just really be mindful of where I am and really soak up the atmosphere of the forest.
Yeah.
and that plays into not only my mood, but also I get so much inspiration from it. It comes into my writing, it comes into how I feel. I did an interesting thing when I was writing this one, Cozy Up.
Yep. That's the Canadian winter one?
Yes.
You should show people.
And it's still, honestly, it's still winter here.
It's March is winter.
It's cozy season. I'm still living it.
We are, absolutely. Yeah.
I was thinking about scent.
Yes.
You know, filling your home with scents. And I did this interesting exercise. I was walking through the forest. And normally I'm just kind of looking around, or I'm usually watching my dog and thinking how cute he is. But that day I just tuned into the smells.
Yeah.
And I really focused on like that earthy smell, and then you go a little further and it was the dead leaves, and kind of focused on that the whole walk. And I came to just feel so safe and comforted. And I think it was because growing up I spent a lot of time in the woods with my dad. And that just makes me feel safe. Yeah. And when I came back in the house to write, I kind of brought that into the idea of bringing that feeling of safety and security and cozy through scent. Yeah. In your home. Right. So using scent in that way to elevate your everyday. Yeah. So surrounding yourselves with scents that make you feel really good. Yeah. Like baking, like cinnamon. Yeah. For me, it was actually wood smoke and firewood. Wood smoke and firewood. I love that smell. Yeah, I do too. And yeah, it reminds me of my dad. Yeah. So there are just all these little ways that you can do things by being mindful and intentionally adding them into your day. So if rug hooking, if you're looking at what adds more beauty to my life, or what adds more enthusiasm, is another thing I like to add. Well, if it's rug hooking, well, then set yourself up for success. Yeah. So get up earlier. I used to get up in my 20s. Yeah. Before work at the accounting firm, I used to hook in the morning. Yeah. When I lived really close to the office, I used to come home in my business suits for lunch. Yeah. And I'd put an apron over my navy suit. And I would hook over the lunch hour. Yeah. You know, trying to find a way to fit it in and make it a priority. Like, find those things in life that really light you up. Yeah. And make time for them. Yeah. Now, Jennifer, I know why, but I'm going to ask you a bold question. And I'm going to ask you, what makes you the person to tell everybody in, how many books is it again? 11 books. What makes you the person to tell people how to elevate the ordinary? Why do you know so much about it? Like I was saying, I believe I'm the everyday woman. I'm not, I just lead a regular life in Nova Scotia. There's nothing particularly special about me, but I have taken the time to think about these things and just put them down on paper. So who am I to do it? Well, I can do it. You can do it. Anybody can do it. Yeah. We can all do it. Doesn't everyone want to be the expert on their own life? Doesn't everybody want to kind of take that on and figure out how to? Yeah. So these are just my musings. Yeah. And I always say, like, these are just some ideas to get you started. Yeah. Take what suits you. Yeah. Leave the rest, and then really think about what works for you. I think that one of the things that makes you really good at this and writing like this is because you are very intentional. Even when you were young, I remember when you were building your house. Do you still live in the same house? I do still live in the same house. Yeah. You were very intentional about that house and how you were going to do it, and how you were going to raise your children, and how you were going to do things. I know that, we all get challenged in our intentions. That's the accountant in me. That's the accountant in you. The analytical mind, problem solving. Yeah. I love looking at situation and thinking, how can I make this better? Yeah. And sometimes making something better is lowering your standards. Oh, I love that. Yeah. Especially when you have teen boys. Isn't that the truth? It is. Yeah. Like, I'm so cranky all the time. Yeah. There's stuffs everywhere. And then I just had to realize, okay, I have to let go of the perfectionism of what I want my house to look like. Yeah. My bedroom looks really, really nice. Just that you lock the door to that. Yeah. The dogs are allowed in, the boys aren't. And my closet looks like a boutique. Okay, it's my closet. So you can control that. I can control it. You can control that little bit. Escape. the kitchen is like a nacho factory. And I'm okay with it for now.
And it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
So I've lowered my standards.
Isn't that beautiful?
And I'm happier for it.
Yeah.
And I nag less for it. I'm just a nicer person.
What a simple way to elevate your ordinary day, right? Is to just let that perfectionism, like, let that out the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a shame, really, how it does make us unhappy sometimes.
It does make me unhappy.
Yeah.
I work on it every day.
To not.
I know they have to be accountable for the responsibilities, but I can't die on every hill in that house. I can't. You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
You know, it's just...
When Mikhail was 14, there were so many boys' shoes at our back door that I had to move the studio into town. I just couldn't stand it anymore. Like, it was just like, sometimes there'd be like 7 pairs of shoes and they were big, you know what I mean? For the boys visiting.
And you're so happy they're there.
You're happy they're there, and you just gotta love them.
Home, and I know I'm just on this cusp of them leaving the nest, and I cherish that they're still there and they want to talk to me. Yeah. Like, they are.
That's good.
They do.
That's good.
But
so Nacho Factory.
They like nachos.
Yeah. Let the Nacho Factory go.
Yeah.
So in 4 years, you've written 11 books. That's amazing. So you're prolific. When do you write?
Well, I write in the morning a lot.
Yeah.
I do find it hard to write when everybody's home.
Sure. Yeah.
Because there's a lot of noise. I write during the pandemic. I wrote a lot when everyone was home, and I wrote in the morning before they got up. So especially this time of year, if anybody is looking to get sink their teeth into a project, like, spring is the time, right? Yeah. It's when I feel so energized. And those daylight hours between 5 and 7 are so valuable. Yeah.
They are.
They are.
Yeah.
Now, this fall, when they went back to school, I wrote this book in 10 days. I was so inspired.
Yeah.
And the kids were gone all day, and the house was quiet, and I just kind of...
You just did it.
I just did it. I had a playlist.
Yeah.
I'd like to set, like I was talking about setting the stage, I had a playlist. I had the candles. I had my writing desk organized, and I can just immerse myself into it.
Good.
So 1 year I wrote 5 books. Last year I just wrote 1.
Yeah.
So it depends.
You sell these through Amazon.ca?
Yep, .com.ca. If you go into Amazon wherever you live, anywhere in the world,
right,
you can find them.
And how do they spell your name?
They spell my name. I don't know if that's reversed on there.
Melville. MEL.
VILLE.
And I googled.
Just like Herman Melville.
Just like Herman Melville.
We're not related, but I'm going to ride his...
You're going to ride his last name?
I am.
Good for you. You're funny. So that's great. And you self-published them.
I did.
I love that. I love that you weren't waiting around for someone to authorize you, to say, hey, I can, you can do this, or tell me about that experience.
Self-publishing.
Yes.
You have full control.
Yeah.
I can get a book out in a month if I want it.
Right.
Like, if I just want to write a book and just put it out, I can just do it. Nobody has to.
Do you design them and everything yourself?
So I write them. My husband, the accountant, edits them.
Yes.
And he's not bad.
I'd say he's pretty good. Yeah.
I have an artist who does my drawings for me.
Yes.
I have another girl who does the cover.
Yeah.
And another guy in Nigeria. I have people all over the world helping me who does the internal.
He lays it out.
Yeah. And then I just pop it up, and it's there. And they're available in Kindle format, so you can buy the ebook.
Yeah, you can buy the ebook.
Or paperback.
Great. Yeah. And people can buy them from Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, and they and there's 11 books. And I love that you just took control of that. Yeah. What made you just take control of that yourself?
Well, there's a woman in New Zealand.
Yes.
Who is my mentor, and she's been doing it for a few years, and she put a book out. So if there's anyone out there who's interested in doing this,
yes,
she put a book out called The Chic Author.
Yes.
And her name is Fiona Ferris.
Right.
She's from New Zealand, and in that book outlines all the steps that you need to write a book and publish it on Amazon.
Yeah. Wow. That's
there
great.
are other books too. But
so you read that book?
I read the book, and I started writing the book the next day.
Good for you.
It was that she does such a good job at explaining how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And within 6 weeks, I had the first.
And how did you find all the components? Like, how did you find all the people to typeset it, and the people to, like the man in Nigeria, to typeset it?
So she referenced how she did it.
Yeah.
And then I just did the same thing. There's a company called Fiverr.
Yeah, Fiverr, everybody.
So my cover designer and my formatter from Fiverr.
Yeah.
I found the artist through Shutterstock. I found a picture I used for the first book, and I texted her, and she said, I can do whatever you want.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
So it just,
And so you use her again and again, and you have a nice consistency throughout your books.
I use her. She's she does watercolor paintings.
So they're lovely.
They're all her.
Yeah.
Work.
Do you want to read us something from one of your books? You want to read us a little piece? I think it would be sweet.
What would I read?
If you want to, you don't have to.
I do.
Oh, good.
I just have to think. I was reading Elevate the Everyday, the first one the other day, and I was like, did I write this? It's so long
I
ago.
know. Sometimes you forget. I do that too. Or sometimes I'll see something and I think, and then I think, oh, wow, that's not bad. And then sometimes I think, oh, well, I've gotten better. That's good.
Okay. Maybe I'll read the conclusion to Seashells in My Pocket. This book is really special to me.
Tell us why.
It's based on our family cottage up in Bathurst, New Brunswick.
Right.
That I've been going my whole life.
Yeah.
And how I feel when I'm there. And the idea in writing the book was, how can I bottle up the way I feel when I'm here and bring it home with me? Because I always leave the beach. Like, don't we all leave the beach and go,
that was so good.
That was so good. How can you come home and keep that beach hair flowing?
Yeah, I know. It's something to think about. Well, the book tells you, right? I think that's the idea.
That's the idea of the book. So I'll just read the little conclusion.
Sure.
Thank you for joining me on this little excursion to the beach. I hope that you were able to collect a few seashells of inspiration to slip into your own pockets. The beach has many wise lessons to teach us, and I trust I've convinced you that you don't have to live on or near the seaside to embrace them into your everyday life. Living a beach-inspired life is available to each and every one of us. Capturing the essence of the beach is really about seeking more of what we instinctively crave and thrive on in life. Simplicity, peace, tranquility, freedom, connection, self-care, adventure, nature, and fresh air. What's so amazing and exciting is that each and every one of these things is free and yours for the taking. It's really about shifting your mindset and tracking down the hidden seashells life has to offer.
Oh, that's beautiful, Jennifer. You are a good writer. You are an easy and natural writer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think I just write sort of like I speak.
I think you do.
Yeah.
I think you do. We're going to put these in somebody's order this week. Jennifer has generously given us some books to put in somebody's order this week. So it will just be a random draw. So in the next 3 or 4 days, these books will go in somebody's order when you order. So you can order for a chance to win them, I guess. And I just really want to thank you for being here, Jennifer. I want you to tell everybody, Jennifer Melville, how people can find you.
Okay, well, you can find me on Amazon.
Yeah.
Just type in Jennifer Melville into the search bar, and all my books will pop up. But if you want a kind of a idea of what I'm up to, or what I might be working on next, or where I'm traveling, or what my dogs are doing, what business they've gotten into, you can best place to find me is Instagram.
Okay.
So
okay, great.
That would be the.elevated.everyday at Jennifer Melville.
The elevated dot.
Elevated.everyday. Or if you just put in Jennifer Melville, I feel like you'll come up.
And you do have a website?
I do, but
you don't really worry about it so much.
I'm also on Facebook.
Yeah.
And they're connected. But for some reason I've got, lots of followers on Instagram and just a handful on Facebook. And I don't know why it's not.
It's just your community, probably how they like to find you.
Connecting, but
yeah.
You can even find me on Spotify because I have playlists.
You have playlists.
I have a playlist for this book. I have a playlist for this book too. Which
that's sweet.
Yeah. So
yeah. So if someone likes to listen to music and they do it on Spotify.
Yeah. And it also gives you a flavor for what I was listening to when I wrote them.
When you wrote them. Yeah. Okay. So you can find Jennifer on Instagram, and you can find her on her website and on Amazon and Spotify. And I really appreciate you coming up today. It was lovely. So I brought a little lunch. I'm going to make you a little light lunch, and we're going to have a cup of tea. So thanks for watching, everybody. Today I'm going to show you, we have some goodies, some wool here. I do want to announce that we are having a live workshop. And the live workshop is May 25th, I believe. It's on the front page of the website, and it is, I hate to hold it up against this dress. It's walking into the wildflowers, and we're going to be creating that rug. And the workshop is coming with the kit for this rug, and it's 11 by 8 by 11, a little bigger than that. But so that's walking into the wildflowers. It's a live workshop, and you'll want to get registered pretty soon. We're going to host it in the community hall next door, and we're going to do studio tours during that day. And it will include a light lunch. We've got some new yarns in. So this is Lang, and these are under new products. And this is Lang Bold, and it's gorgeous. Parakeet. I brought this one home the other day to use. It's called Stone, to use in a landscape. That would be beautiful in this rug, actually. It would really fit in good. And then this is Bold, and this one is called Water Lilies. So that's 3 new. And Mary made this gorgeous bundle called Spring Fling. And that is also under our new products. And that's just, wow, it's just going to be, wow, it feels like this, doesn't it? A bit. You can feel the togetherness in them. So even though it is still pretty cold here in winter and you wouldn't go out without a warm coat, we're thinking spring. And we've got some special things coming up this spring. And Patrick asked me to tell you that if you join the inspiration sessions, we sent out an email this week. So if for some reason you didn't get the email, it is not the inspiration session for this month. That won't go out until the 20th. But if for some reason you didn't get it, please email us at info@hookingrugs.com, because we want to make sure that sometimes people get bumped off the list or something. We want to make sure that you're getting your sessions. So thank you, all of you who joined the inspiration sessions. We're going to have a great year. I've got some beautiful things planned, and I'm hoping to get to talk to some of you individually throughout the year. And remember this, that when you share rug hooking, you just never know what you're sharing with someone. When we share our creativity and we share our gifts and we teach someone to hook rugs, sometimes we're delivering to them community, friendship, solace. We just don't know what we're bringing them. So be sure to share your rug hooking with your community. That's a really important thing to me. And because I know people tell me every week what a change it's made in their lives. And I know it's true. And thanks to Jennifer today, for Jennifer Melville, for elevating the ordinary and talking to us about how we can do that. I'll see you next week. Thank you for being here. Terry's waiting to talk to me.
You didn't say the date of the workshop?
I didn't say the date of the workshop. I thought I did. I thought it was May 25th. Well, Terry just came in to correct me. That's all. That's good. That's what I live with. That's what it's like here. It's just like home. Thanks, Terry.